YouTube? It's your boy Cookie. Now before I start this off, I just want to say I wasn't drinking at the YCS, and yeah, man, this is in the comfort of my own home. So without further ado, let's talk about it.
Welcome to the new house.
You know, it's crazy. This is gonna be in the YouTube video too. Anyway, so I usually don't like giving out bubble lists because, you know, I didn't do nothing. But I cannot do anything about, you know, the X2 problem. Anyway, shout out to the sponsors. First and foremost, we're gonna shout out wnax, TCG, the Lost Zone, because they are the best sponsors. We did have like, you know, a lot of representation in tandem with, we were able to just have fun. So shout out to Jose and Chris. Those guys had an amazing performance this weekend. They did great. And albeit they weren't on stream too much, albeit still great, they still did amazing numbers. But other than that, we're gonna shout out the KC area. We're gonna shout out my testing partners, Emmanuel, the Rolly School, Darius, Omar, and the whole, you know, the whole nine, especially the guys back home, Akeem and them. We're gonna talk about this 40-card dragon deck that, you know, I was gonna play regardless because it's a dragon deck. Let's get into it. Oh yeah. And very few people I meet over the weekend like leave an impression on me, but I got to meet someone who I can say I was a fan of. So I know he's gonna be watching this. Sonny, shout out to you. Otherwise, 3 of the field spell. You can cry all you want. I don't care. Cry all you want. I don't care. 1-card starter. Get used to it. They're gonna print them. You're gonna buy them. So what? The best one, indubitably the best one, because he single-handedly gets to all 3 if you play it right. Second best one, because he can get to all 3 should you play it right. And then the worst one, reminder guys, you know, they kind of forgot on stream to say this, but these are not tuners. So when you saw me linking the Hita, it wasn't because I didn't have no other play. Well, no, it wasn't because I didn't know I could synchro summon. It was because I had no other play but to not synchro summon. But these are my Tenpai engine. You know, it's gonna change come info. Unfortunately, you guys won't be able to see my changes come info until after nationals. However, it'd be all right. We get to see other innovation from other individuals. 3-pot. To Sir Schmidt, the reason why we do 3 is because it'll always walk if we do 3. And if it don't walk at 3 and you get punished, it was only double punishment on your end. Even if we don't have engine. The 1 call by, we're crossing into the non-engine now. Outside of Prosperity, I really don't count as non-engine because, you know. Nevertheless, these are thrusts. I brought them for the event because, man, I didn't feel like spending that money. I was bamboozled like everybody else. I thought it was going to get reprinted. It didn't. So this card, in and of itself, it helped win a couple of games, but really it was the targets that facilitated most of my wins, which, honestly, what I was going for here, and you guys get to, like, pick my brain a little bit, I was really going for cards that were just good as my 6th card, because as we would come to see, and as the commentators would say, I don't really play that many hand traps because I didn't think they were that good outside of one of them. So we our thrust package, we have the 1 change of heart. Take cards were immaculate. You know, I would show you, but I'm recording on my phone. But I played 5 Snake Eye matches, and I only lost 1 because, to my man Adrian, shout out to you for topping. He was the only one that drew Lightning Storm plus Droplet in the same hand that he killed me with. Otherwise, you know, it probably wouldn't have been like that. The Monster Reborn. So if I was telling people to go first all day, I wanted a card that just like pooped on every fire deck ever. So like going against Mir, you saw what happened. Going against Snake Eye, you either A, take their Flamberge and get rid of all the rest of their interruptions, or you take Princess and then you have recovery for link plays for any other interruptions that they may or may not have. So like this in and of itself was just a really, really good, you know, card to play. We only played one because it only needed to be used once. Once you used it the first time, you never really need to use it again. For all 3 effects, I never drew 2, by the way. I only looked at my opponent's hand and took a card. This was like the shining. This one and this one like helped a lot versus the Brandon matchup because I would just like take their monster, with the puppet and then tribute summon for a certain dude that like cleared other stuff, and they didn't know what to do, so they would pass and then I'd kill them. And that happened twice, so it was decent. 2 double storm because we want to see it. We didn't opt to main dust or any of the other like these are all the normal spells that I did, by the way. We didn't opt to do any other form of removal because you do this first, then you do Fenrir, and then like after you remove a massive amount of whatever they have, Fenrir just makes it to where they're either going to A, play incorrectly to play around Fenrir, or B, they're going to waste what they need to play correctly because Fenrir is there. And in both cases, it just helps me out immensely. Hand traps. I don't really care what anybody says, right? As much as this card feels bad, word to Sir Morton, I was always going to ask you. That was never not going to happen, right? So, plus KAILYN, plus, and I was telling my buddies this before, Labyrinth made top cut. Somehow, some way, Labyrinth is going to make it, right? And when you have a deck like that, and then this card can technically be a pseudo good card going second, it was no reason to cut it. I was telling people to go first all day, and I was blowing through the boards and killing them. This facilitated that because if you draw them, a good combo player is going to be like, well, I can still play. Well, your still play loses to summoning. That's all I got to say about that. The one ogre, because, well, we played it once, and in every situation where it came up and I drew it, it was impactful for that one time, and every time I didn't need it, it was immediately gone. That's all I needed to say about that. 3 Fenrir. I didn't opt to play any other consistency cards for Fenrir because Fenrir does what it does. Effectively, it's a discard engine in tandem with. If it sticks, great. If it doesn't, I'm still killing you. So, didn't need more than 3. And then last but not least, the 3 traps, 3 imperms. I was imperming everybody's stuff all day long. People were passing the imperm. It was just a strong card overall. Like, Flames of Destruction really did us justice. We're gonna go to our 15 card extra deck. Surprise, surprise. So first off, foremost, let me just tell everybody in the Tenpai, little group now, the reason why you play these is because number 1, you see them attributes. Number 2, number 3, 1, 2, and the 3rd target for prosperity. If you're not playing against the dark deck, or you can afford to keep Hita, you always get rid of these 2. And the reason why you keep them in your extra deck, if they're prosperity targets, is because we were always making Princess. Nevertheless, those 2, you know what it is. You know why. Great card. That's the rest of the Link monsters. So why did we opt to go the Link route? Well, not only were we we weren't necessarily afraid of D-Barrier, we just didn't want to be tripping up over D-Barrier. And so with that, here's a few things that I learned about this weekend that was just amazing. First and foremost, always need to play mandatory, right? So then if I always need to play to get to this, why do we do this? Facilitate OTK. Why this one is not a non-fire monster? And I'm gonna give y'all some sauce, it's a little bit of reading that some people don't be doing in the extracurricular activities. Did you know that you didn't even have to have the co-linked monsters? Your opponent can have co-linked monsters. You can summon this dude over here and still pop for the amount of co-linked monsters they control. And that's why he made the cut. So outside of that, we got our synchros. We know why Black Rose is here. Quibel for the spot removal was really good. I never ever used his second effect because it never came up. So I was really half and half on this. I didn't want to play Meteor Burst for one particular tangible reason, and that was I feel like if I was just locking you out of effects, I was really going in to transcend. But then I thought to myself, okay, well, I played against this mirror enough times. There were a couple regionals in between this YCS where I played cumulatively 10 mirrors, and 5 out of those 10 mirrors I lost because, and some of them were testing, some of them were actual tournaments, But 5 out of those 10 mirrors I lost because they were able to summon this plus an extender and play. And so that this card just facilitating that against other rogue matchups too. It was just one of those cards I didn't want to not have. And I ended up summoning it a couple times. It was useful. 2, that's solved. 2, for all the pros, it's solved. For everybody else, the reason why you play 2 is because you do respect cash tier. And 2, there are moments where you do get put in a grind game. And when you do get put in a grind game, this card will come up more often than not. I did not ask a friend. I had money in my pocket. I paid for it. And it killed under prosperity every time. Now, you guys were lucky. Usually I don't show my side deck. But guess what? I went to a YCS. So I guess I'll show my side deck. Word to Omar, chain crossout technique. I wrote this on a whiteboard in the B&B. I was like, yo, this is gonna win the YCS, and lo and behold, man, Paolo chain crossout and won the YCS. Okay. Anyway, mind control, take cards, really, really good. The odd one out, the duster. Why did I opt to do this as the 1-of? Because if I knew I was going second, especially against Snake Eye, I'll do the lightning storm to do the monsters and shit. Or I'll do the duster for like the back row specifically. Because if you do either one, it's gonna force out the interaction. And then this is just like, take their Appo, they can't play. I've had many moments where I literally went, how we always do, we bait out the IP, they take the bait, and then boom, bow, you take whatever is left, and then they just can't play. The least activated card in my side deck, I only activated it twice. None of those were against the mirror. I didn't cross out it because I was killing under cross out. There was a time where I searched this off of thrust, but the only reason why I searched it off of thrust was because the matchup I was playing against, let's just say I had extra time on the clock that I didn't want to waste it. And so I set this off of thrust so he would immediately pick up his cards because he knew he lost. So that wasn't really impactful. Anyway, 3 Crow. I was never getting puppeted. Shout out to Pac. It was never going to happen. I'll let you know, bro. Book of Eclipse. Just to get rid of like those mass boards. I flipped a couple borders face down playing against a runic matchup. I was never really trying to lose to any of them stun decks. And this deck just trades so well because like they're not drawing anything. You're just booking everything and then killing them. So yeah, these 15 did really, really well. My losses were to a Pearly player drawing the best card of the weekend, games 1, 2, and 3. I can't do anything about that. I wasn't too upset about it. And then my second loss was to Snake Eye. And once again, congrats to Adrian.